What's going on, Fort Worth, Texas? Welcome to the season 4, episode 47 of Talking Throws Podcast, Texas Style. I'm Coach Jason.
And I'm Coach Janelle.
Welcome, guys. Thank y'all so much for your support the last 3 seasons. We hope that we offer some new materials for season 4. We got some exciting guests coming out, so just stay tuned. We're going to be coming out every Sunday like we have in the past. We've changed a couple things up. We actually have a YouTube channel now. Janelle's going to be in charge of that, so we're excited about that. We got a couple new sponsors on board, so we're excited to have them on board and supporting us, and hopefully we do right by them. So we're going to get that started. Season 4 sponsors, Texas Track and Field Coaches Association. You can go to ttfc.org for the latest news in Texas Track and Field. One cool thing about that site is indoor and outdoor meets are already being posted for 2022. Also, you can find results from Tokyo to the state meet to the meet of champions. Anything you need to know about what's going on in Texas Track and Field, you can find at ttfca.org. Also, our favorite implement company, 4throws.com. You can go to 4throws.com, use code TALKINGTHROWS20 to get 20% off. You can find training tools or all 5 implements at 4throws.com. PortaCircle.com. They're making throwing more accessible. Go to porta-circle.com. Use code TALKINGTHROWS10. Winter's coming, so you can use a PortaCircle for that's my Game of Thrones thing. Use PortaCircle for drill work in a basketball gym, underneath the stadium, or in your hotel. And then our favorite athletic development guy in Austin, Texas, Zach Phillips, Ready Up Athletic Development. You can contact Zach at 512-507-8347 or follow him on social media, Instagram and Facebook, or you can email him, or his website is readyupad.com, readyupad.com. And then a new sponsor for this season is our guy, Bruce Caldwell. Came out with a new disc called Fiber Sports Disc. They're welcome to a new way to get your distance. Fiber Sports Discus is taking the guesswork out of discus selection. It's just not about the rim weight anymore. So you can go to fibersportdiscus.com, fibersportdiscus.com, or you can contact Bruce Caldwell at 817-819-1472, 817-819-1472. And then also, too, we're happy to announce that we've brought on a new coach. We started a new team called West at the Thorn Factory. They're going to be led by Coach Kai Smith. Kai was an outstanding thrower at Abilene Christian University, holds a lot of records there. A strong youth thrower coming out of Germany, so we're excited to have him on board. His area is going to be anything south to Waco, Weatherford, all the way out to Abilene and even further. So if you're in those areas and you're looking for a great coach, shot put, discus, or javelin, he's a guy to reach out to. And then we still have Coach Jarvis. He's still running east at the Thorn Factory. He's looking to bring on more throwers and do more lessons. For all their contact information, or even mine, you can go to the website thornfactory.com. That's the thornfactory.com to do that. So, Janelle, you got anything?
No, go check out our website. We had quite a few All-Americans this summer. We got pictures of them out there, and if you're looking for some throwing and you want to get involved next year, now's the time to start doing it. So reach out to us. We love working with kids from 8 and under all the way up to if you're about to be in high school. So reach out to us. We love it. We're always looking to take on more kids and get more kids throwing.
All right, and then also, too, a big shout-out. The Olympics just ended, so a big shout-out to our guy, Ryan Krauser, for winning the gold medal in the shot put. Man, love you. Great. Throw on that 6 attempt, man. We're so happy for you. Daisy Osakaway. Sorry, Daisy.
Sorry, Daisy.
Made the finals in the women's discus, but had a great throw in the qualifying round. And her emotion that she showed there was just something unreal. It's just very obvious that dreams can come true. And then Maggie Malone, I think she made top 10 in the javelin, so big accomplishment for her. I know she might be a little disappointed that she didn't get top 3, but she made it there, and I know that she'll be back in 3 years for doing that. So, all right. So today's guest is a woman who is currently a school nurse. In 2013, she was inducted in TC Hall of Fame. She was a 6-time All-American in shot put at Texas Christian University. She was a 4-time Southwest Conference champion in the shot put. In 1993, she won silver at the NCAA Outdoor Championships. She threw at LD Bell High School in Bedford, Texas, where she was a two-time state champion. She was the first girl ever to throw over 50 feet indoors. Please welcome to episode 47, our first guest for season 4, Stevanie Wadsworth Ferguson. Thank you so much for being on. It is a true honor to have you on our little show. As you're probably aware, I've been trying to get you on for about 2 years. So
yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. I had to work those circles around. When I was going after Adam Setlith, I was really wanting you. So.
Well, now you got me. So.
Yes, ma'am.
We saved the best for last,
That's
right?
For truth.
There you go.
That's for true.
Thank you for being on. So I get the privilege, I can't talk, of starting with the first question. So how did you get started throwing? And when were you introduced into it? Go ahead.
Yep. I started in 8th grade. I lived in Oklahoma at the time. So we just kind of, everybody goes out for, all the sports. I played basketball. And then we went into track and, they were just saying, okay, let's just try all the events, and so I just tried the shot put and, I beat one of the other girls that was trying. And so I won the spot, I guess, so to speak.
Awesome.
Yep. And then it's kind of, downhill from there.
Yeah.
Or uphill, however you want to look at it.
Sounds like uphill from there. So did you beat, were there a bunch of boys out there throwing too, or was it just girls?
It was just girls.
Okay.
Just
Did
the
you
girls.
try discus at the 8th grade level as well?
No. They were just doing shot put. For whatever reason, we didn't do discus, I don't know. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep.
So how old were you until you moved to LD Bell and Fort Worth?
I moved my sophomore year. So
Okay.
I kind of came in sophomore year, like when everybody comes into junior high, from the junior highs,
Gotcha.
So, yep.
Gotcha. So in you're back to Oklahoma, your freshman year, did you have a coach that saw some talent in you and just kind of showed you how to hold the shot put, how the correct way to push the shot put, anything like that while you were a freshman?
Yeah, or even in 8th grade, they just kind of taught us the basics, the basic glide movement, nothing really, nothing major, just, something easy. I just kind of, and then, in high school, I just kind of continued it. There wasn't really specifically like a throwing coach or anything. There was just, they just kind of, okay, let's go, throw for a little bit and then we'll go run, so.
Throwing was way more fun than the running part.
Exactly. I did do the running too. I was I did like the 100, 200. I did some hurdles in there at times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting being short and vertically challenged to do hurdles.
Yeah. So were you drawn to shot put at that time, or were you still thinking, okay, I want to go be a runner?
No, I kind of got tired of the running too, but I'd always done running, I'd always in track and stuff, but I was more in the running part of it, not so much. I didn't throw until I was in 8th grade, but I was always doing, the sprints, the 100, 200, all that. So I probably started that in like AAU or whatever, back then. Yep. And I think I started that like maybe, I don't even know, second, third grade, something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, were your parents athletic? Did they have a background in throwing or in other sports?
My dad, he was in football. He was like a football coach, and he also did football himself, and he did some track too.
Oh, okay.
He did the sprints and stuff. And then my mom, she was the basketball player.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Okay.
So athletic family.
So is how you came to LD Bell's, your dad got a job at LD
No.
Bell?
Actually, my parents got divorced about, I think when I was before my freshman year in high school.
Okay.
So we kind of stayed there another year. And then, I had a brother that was going to college here at University of Dallas.
Okay.
And then I also had some other family that was here in the area. So we just kind of, moved down here to be with them.
Okay. Awesome.
And then we heard, good things about Bell, it was one of the, HEB was a good school district and all that. So, yep, that's how I ended up at Bell.
Awesome. Did you recall how far you threw, like when you're in the 8th grade or 9th grade year?
I want to say 8th grade, I threw in maybe right around 30, nothing great at that time. And then I think it was in the mid 30s or so. My freshman year, I did go to state in Oklahoma that year.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did, yeah. I don't really remember what I placed. Sorry, it was
That's
30
okay.
something years ago, but
Well, to advance that far, did you kind of like, were you a shuffler, a walkthrough? Did you have some form of a glide? I'm guessing
yeah, I
your
mean,
dad might have coached you a little.
a little bit. I mean, he, did a little bit, but like I said, there was other, coaches out there doing some too.
Gotcha.
And it was, somewhat of a glide, from the best I remember. We did, a variation of it, something
Gotcha.
simple and easy.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So you go to your sophomore year to LD Bell. Were you aware of Steve Stewart at this time?
No, not at all. Not at all. I
Not
started
at
out
all.
playing,
No clue,
not at all,
huh?
because I started out playing basketball. Actually, I tried out for volleyball, coming in as a sophomore, you try out for everything. So I
Uh-huh.
tried out for volleyball. I didn't make that team. And then I did basketball my whole sophomore year. I did basketball. And
Okay.
then we went into track and I did that. Tried
Oh,
running a little bit my sophomore year, I think, but I was like, nah, I'm kind of done with that. So then I started throwing more.
wow. What was your first impression when you first met Coach Stewart?
He was, a really good coach. Like I said, at the time he was working with Adam.
Yeah.
So I know he was, busy at the time with obviously with him. And, then he would come over and work with me at times, and stuff.
Okay. Okay. What was your impression of Adam being Adam?
Yeah. Uh-huh. It was pretty neat.
I know Adam well enough to say that.
Yep. That was pretty neat. Like I said, we didn't really work out a lot at the same time, because our, the discus and shot were kind of
Yeah.
close, somewhat. So he kind of did, his time and I did mine. So it kind of worked out, to where we had a little bit different times, and then that way Coach Stewart could work, different times with each one of us.
Yeah.
Nice.
So did he break down your glide and your technique and basically start you at ground zero from what you might have learned your freshman year at Oklahoma?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he, just kind of looked at it and, did a lot of drills and took it from there.
Yeah. Yeah. So what kind of jumps did you have that's your sophomore year, first year with Coach Stewart? Do you remember in your marks?
I remember, I know it was like mid to high 30s, right around 40 maybe, because I did go to state that year. I got
You
like
did? Okay.
fifth. I did go to state my sophomore year. I think I got like fifth.
Wow.
So
Well, you probably had to be close to 40 by then.
yeah,
coming
that's
out
what I
of
was
five.
thinking. Yep, I was thinking high 30s, maybe right around 40, something like that.
Wow. Wow. Do you remember the first time you actually threw over 40 feet or hit that 40 feet in one of those
No,
meets?
not. I mean, not right offhand. I'm like,
Nice.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Now we had her on too, and I'm not trying to bring up but you had a big rivalry with Eileen Venisi being at Euless Trinity.
Yep.
When's the first time you met Eileen and or saw her at a meet?
Probably, sometime during our sophomore year.
Okay.
I mean, because we were always competing at the same time. Same meets and all that. So, I mean, it was a competitive, rivalry or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of started our sophomore year and just continued on every year.
Yeah. Will you say that you just had something inside you that was that competitive spirit where you just had to be successful in throwing? How would you describe go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, how would you describe yourself as a competitor?
I was very competitive, something I always, wanted to be, be the best or whatever, that was kind of something that I guess I instilled in myself, kind of to get that, glory and, be the best at whatever you do.
Gotcha. Now, I was also told that you were very strong, that you had a lot of experience in the weight room. Is that right?
Yes, I was strong, I think for the, for my age or whatever, I don't really remember, I mean, what my lifts were. I don't really remember doing a lot of Olympic lifts, in high school. That's what I was trying to remember. As we age, the memory kind of goes sometimes, doesn't it?
Yes.
Trust me.
Yes.
Trust me.
Yeah. I forget
it's like,
a lot.
what did I do?
Exactly. Exactly.
But I remember that I didn't do a whole lot of Olympic lifts, I mean, I just did, a lot of bench and squats and stuff like that, just to get stronger.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yep.
So and you talked earlier about being vertically challenged, just to kind of give our listeners a visual. How tall were you at this time?
About 5'6" and a half, something like that.
5'6" and a half. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So when did the big mark started coming? Because You know, I just did this intro, and you were the first to throw over 50 in the indoor meet, and you had a
Yep.
PR of 52.11. So you mean to tell me your sophomore year, you went about 35, 36 feet in 2 years? You almost had a 20 feet increase in shot
Yep.
put?
Yep.
Wow.
And I think a lot of it, was just, committing to be, to being that the only sport, because my
Okay.
sophomore year, I did do basketball, and so that took a lot away from, obviously, from throwing, because you couldn't do it until, the spring or whatever. So I think just making that commitment of doing, starting in the fall and, starting with the lifting, getting stronger, getting, quicker in the ring and stuff, I think that obviously helped a lot.
Yeah. By this time, and I know you're a glider, was there something that Coach Stewart kind of honed in your glide to kind of help you get those big marks and that improvement?
I think it was just, homing in on the, the technique, just doing a lot of drills, throwing over and over again, throwing every day,
Wow.
starting in the fall,
Oh,
doing it,
really?
yeah, doing, 4 or 5 times a week,
Oh, wow. Did he
so we
make you
did,
throw?
practice a lot.
Did he make you throw any of the 12-pound?
No, we never did.
Never
Never
threw
did.
12.
I think it would have been hard because, my size and my hands, and I think it would have been hard to hold.
Yeah, yeah. What about
Uh-huh.
any lighter weights? Did he ever make you throw a little, like, I don't want to say a 6-pound, but maybe like a 7 pound or something like that,
Nope.
like a lighter
Mm-mm.
shot put or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
We just always stayed with the 4K one. We
Wow.
just, got that and stayed with it.
Well, what about discus? Did you ever pick up the discus at any meet? And
I mean, I picked it up, and would practice every now and then with it, and I was just like, nope, I just never got it. It was just a weird feel for me. I don't know if my hands, because they're smaller or whatever, I just never
yeah,
could get the grip right, and it just kind of never would go for me.
gotcha. Um, when so you started throwing, you go to state your sophomore year, your junior year. I'm guessing you started to get a lot of recognition in the area and stuff. Do you remember your like first contact by colleges and who was the first schools that kind of reached out to you?
I know there was some that did, I can't remember like obviously the first one, but somewhere around, I remember Cornell. I don't know. I think somebody else had said that too, that maybe they were like big on throwing or something. So I
Yeah.
think they reached out to a lot of people. But then, I just got, a lot of different recruitments, my junior year,
Wow. Well, so was that
especially,
that that?
at their after, state and all that, obviously.
Yeah. What? Go ahead.
I would say so. You went to state in Oklahoma your freshman year, and
Yep.
then in Texas your sophomore, junior, and senior. So that's awesome. Participate in state all 4 years of high school.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, and so your freshman year, what place did you say you got?
I don't even
I
remember.
remember.
I want to say,
Right.
yeah, 8, 9,
Okay.
somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Wow. Wow. What? I'm going back to you because I've heard you were a great competitor. Did you just have that knack for that one big throw when things were kind of stacked against you? Because you threw the 52.11 your senior year and broke the state record in the shot put and beat Eileen, who was second.
Yep.
And from my understanding, there was a little bit of struggle going on that day. You might not have been in your best, and all of a sudden you hit one. Was that kind of your mojo?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. You just kind of got to persevere. Just take whatever you're given and make the best of it. Because I know our junior year we had like it was raining that day, so we had like a 2 or 3 hour rain delay. We
Oh,
warmed up
wow.
and then it started raining, and so we went in, underneath the stands, whatever, for a nice long rain delay. That that's tough to come back from.
Yeah.
But and then
Especially after you warmed up.
yeah, after you warmed up, and then you're like, oh no, sorry, we're shutting it down. So started
Oh,
raining. Like I said, we were probably out for a couple hours
oh, wow.
before we got to come back. And then
Wow.
that's when I, broke the state record the first time, my junior year. I think I
Wow.
threw like 48.3 or something like that.
Wow. So do you remember we'll move it up the measurement a little bit. So you're still second all time. Are you aware of that? Do you know you're second still all time in the farthest mark and shot put in the state of Texas?
I didn't know until I started looking it up again, because I mean, I kind of, lost touch there with it for a little while, because I knew I had it for a while. And then, Michelle Carter came around, and I knew, but then I know also, she was 5A, I was 6A,
Yeah.
or 4A, 5A back then. But yeah, I was kind of surprised to see that it was still around.
Yeah.
That's a big throw. We were just talking before this of not many high school girls go over 50.
No.
That's amazing.
And
Yeah.
you've did it quite a few times.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
and how many times would you say you threw over 50? Just guessing.
I would say probably almost every meet. So
Really?
probably 8 to 10 times, probably. I mean, that's just a
Wow.
guess, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, and because we'll have situations where, like, a one girl this year, I think she threw one meet over 50 feet, and all the rest of the year was right around 47, 48,
Mm.
49. And I think even at the state meet, she threw 48. But even this farthest throw in the country this year was like 51 something.
Mm.
And for you to do that in 1990 and 1989 and all that, when Boys to Men were popular.
Yeah.
When we had the big hair and
Yep, big hair, yep.
hammer pants.
Yep.
Back in our day, huh?
Was quite
That's right.
impressive. I just, there was nothing special that you thought you did to be able to throw that far.
No, I mean, not at the time. I mean, I think I was quick at the time, I mean, my technique, I think I had a good glide, and that I was explosive,
Mhm.
you kind of hit the middle and, I was able to explode into the end of the throw, I think that helped a lot.
Wow.
Yep.
So you throw that many times over 50 feet, I'm sure you had colleges knocking at your door left and right.
Yep.
On January 7th and 8th, 2022, at the Great Wolf Lodge in Grapevine, the annual Winter Clinic will take place. Texas's #1 track and field coaches clinic featuring 20 in-person presentations and 12 virtual. 32 presentations, 32 continuing education hours. Go to www.ttfca.org for all the information and follow us on Twitter at TTFCA.
Yep.
Did you go on all 5 of your recruiting trips?
Actually, I went on 3, I think I only went on 3. I went to like Kent State, obviously, that's where I went.
Okay.
My freshman year, yeah. And then I went to Kansas State and Houston.
Oh,
So,
really?
mhm.
Okay. No Texas or Oklahoma or anything like
No.
that?
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. And so out of those 3, how did you choose Kent State at that time?
I like the coach. I liked the coach at the time. He was a good recruiter. We'll just leave it at that. Uh-huh. It wasn't a good experience, so we'll just leave it at that. He was a good recruiter. It wasn't a great freshman year, but I got back to Texas as soon as I could. So
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I mean, it was totally different. I mean, you go from being in Texas to Ohio. My mom actually moved up there with me, so that kind of made it a
Okay.
little bit better. But she wasn't able to find a job, so she had to move back within like a month of being there. So yeah, kind of put a wrinkle in our plans there. But
Yeah. Did Coach Stewart help you and guide you kind of in your recruiting of these are the questions you need to ask, and this is kind of what you need to look for and all that type of stuff?
I mean, yeah, a little bit, but he kind of left it up to me to some degree to, be my choice. But, he did say, things to look for, what kind of throwers have they had in the past, and what kind of, I think the important thing was what kind of coaches were there,
Gotcha.
That's huge.
Gotcha. So Kent State, Kansas, and what was the third one?
Houston.
Houston.
Yeah. I was like, even though they're more known for their sprints, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, so Dave was at SMU. Did you ever talk to Dave Woolman at SMU?
I think I did, but like I said, it's been a while, I know I did whenever I came back, obviously from Kent, but at the time I don't really remember, I know I talked to TCU at the time. I just, didn't feel like it was the fit for me at the time.
Gotcha. So you come back, of course, now we have the transfer portal and we can basically jump from school to school. We won't go into that.
Yeah, that's
Back
not,
then you
that's,
couldn't. So how did TCU came into the picture?
well, I mean, and actually, I was promised that, you leave, you can go next year and compete and all that, but that didn't quite happen. But that's whole another story, right?
Tell us.
Like I said, I mean, they the coach at Kent said, "Oh yeah, we'll release you, no problems." And then when it came down to it, they're like, "No, we're not going to do it."
Oh wow! Did you make it even to conference finals your freshman year at Kent?
Oh yeah, I did. I was actually an All-American indoor.
Oh,
I
were you
can't.
really?
Yeah. Yep. I think I got maybe 5th, 6th, somewhere around there indoor. Yep.
Wow.
I
And
think
then, but it still wasn't a good year for you.
it wasn't a good field year. How about that?
Gotcha.
I mean,
I'm
throwing was okay. I did get better. I did stay with the glide there, and all that.
Yeah.
So I think my best was somewhere around 53, maybe 54. I'm not sure. I think it was more than
Wow.
53s. So,
Wow.
and I did compete all year there. I did go outdoor. I won MAC indoor and outdoor. Because that's the conference they're in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And I
Wow.
did qualify to go to outdoors my freshman year. I just, was not in a situation where I really wanted to compete at that time. So
Gotcha.
came home and, did that. So
Gotcha.
So did you try hammer or anything else at college? Because you stayed away from the discus, but did you pick
nope,
up hammer,
I didn't try anything.
wake indoor, or
Mm-mm.
nope, straight shot
Nope.
put?
Just did the shot put. That was it.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, you did it well, so that's good.
Well, thank you.
I'm kind of curious too, because you made a comment earlier about having a little smaller hands, and everybody kind of knows that the indoor shot put, they tend to be a little bit bigger
Yep.
than the outdoors, and changing the diameters and stuff like that. How were you able to be successful indoors? Because you throw far indoors, and of course, like I said, you were the first one to throw over 50. Was it
Yep.
something about just the indoor environment?
I think so, or maybe not just that, maybe just practicing with it a lot. I mean, yeah, it was
Oh.
bigger and stuff, but just getting used to it and just doing it over and over again. It wasn't easy, but you get used to it after a while. Your body gets used to it, your hand, all that.
Yeah. Were you someone that used to put a lot of chalk on their neck and
Nah, it
all
wasn't.
that?
No, wasn't me.
There wasn't you.
Uh-uh.
Our little team, because now they see all these people like just covering the shot put in
Yep.
chalk.
Yep.
We have hot pink chalk and blue. We got all sorts of bright colored chalk.
Some blue, purple, right?
Yes, yeah. If chalk, if there was a chalk put contest, we would win it.
I think too, though, I did use it later on. I think once I switched to spin, I think you use it more because of the way you hold it differently.
Yeah.
You really do. You hold it more under your neck when you're glide. You hold it more out when you
Mhm.
spin.
Gotcha.
So for me, I did use chalk more when I was spinning. So
Gotcha. So you decided to transfer to TCU. Coach Kennison was there, right?
at TCU it was John
Yeah.
McKenzie.
John McKenzie. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So you go there with John McKenzie. You're a glider. Does this start the transformation of rotational shot put for you?
Yes. He's the one that, suggested it. I'm like, okay, we'll try it, see what happens, He was like, I think you're fast enough to where you can get a little bit more power behind it and all that, and use your size a little bit better, So, I had never done any, rotational spin, anything before. So we just started at the basics, just started, basically at ground zero,
Wow. How long did that take you to pick up where you felt competitive, where you were, at least above 45 feet?
It probably took, a good all the fall. So it probably wasn't until Christmas, maybe after Christmas.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, that's a tough adjustment. And
It
you
was-
were
it
at the
was-
time a sophomore in college, right? Going into
Yeah,
your sophomore
mhm.
year. Okay.
At
Yep.
TCU. Were
Yeah.
you glad to be back home? Did your mom
Oh, yeah.
find a job and all that stuff?
Yep. Yep. She
That's-
was able to find a job here. She's a teacher, and so she was
Oh,
able to
okay.
get a job pretty easy here. It was weird that she wouldn't be able to get one in Ohio, but I don't know. Just one of those, one of those things.
I understand.
I think God just had a plan, that's the way I look at it. God had a plan for us,
Awesome.
And whenever I came back here, the reason I picked TCU was because, it was between SMU, TCU, but SMU doesn't have a nursing school and I'm a nurse. So, it was a no brainer in that situation. You still have to have something,
Yeah.
at the end of the day to rely back on, throwing's not gonna, be your life forever.
I like to ask this question about education. So being a nurse and then throwing in college, how did you handle
It was
all
very
the-
hard.
Yeah, the workload of student athlete when
was
athlete's
very-
a full-time job.
Yep, it was hard. It took me 6 years. That's how I did it. I wasn't
Okay.
able to take, I wasn't able to take a full nursing load at the time. I would take, maybe a half of a nursing load and then just, other classes to get up to 12 hours. But yeah, there's no way you can compete and, train and do all that and, do your schooling at the same time.
Gotcha.
No, that's true. That is tough.
Yep.
So
So like I
you-
said, it took me 6 years, but I did it. So
You did
Yes,
it,
yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
Nice.
So you he switched you to rotation. You go out all through winter, so you go out to outdoor, and that's your first experience with doing outdoor rotational shot put outdoor, right?
Yes.
Okay. How
And I
did
couldn't.
that go? Go ahead.
It went pretty well, but I mean, I was open because I couldn't compete for TCU, because I was still in the transfer,
Yeah.
so that I had that whole first year where I would just have to pick up, little meets here and there.
Were you
I think that
redshirted?
was, yeah, I was.
Okay, they redshirted you. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Was that a difficult time for you when you were used to having a meet every week, and it was kind of you never kind of the unknown where you never knew where you were going to have a meet next or anything like that?
Yeah, it was tough, but it was also a good thing because I was able to, transition a little bit easier, wasn't that pressure of, transitioning, to spinning and then have to compete at that higher level. Kind of gave me a year to kind of get into the transition, and feel more comfortable doing it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so the timing worked really well.
Yeah, it did. It worked really well.
Were you still talking with Coach Stewart back in those days? Did you see him a lot?
Not a whole lot, no, because
Okay.
he kind of was doing his high school thing, and I was doing, the college thing over there. So
Gotcha.
I mean, I saw him some, but not a whole lot, no.
Not a whole lot. Okay. So your first time, I think you won four-time Southwest Conference in the shot put. So you, after you got redshirted that following year, you won it both indoor and outdoor, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And what were the kind of marks were you hitting then to being only doing rotational shot put for like a year?
I want to say I went like 55 indoors.
Wow.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's where it was. Yeah.
Wow.
And then around that, it's 54 or 55, somewhere around there outdoors. So it's kind of the same, it was kind of weird.
Yeah. At this time, did the bulb go off any time in your head and go, I can make the Olympics?
Yeah, I mean, there was times, especially in 92, but that's when I switched, so I wasn't really comfortable in trying, the Olympic trials at that time because I still was so shaky in the, in my technique and all that. I mean, I think I only went to maybe 2 or 3 meets that whole, transfer year. I know I did Texas relays. I think I was maybe 54 or somewhere around there, but
yeah,
like I said, that's the reason I didn't go to 92. And then by 96, I was kind of burned out and done and got married and was pregnant. And it's like,
yeah,
it was just
gets in the way.
It does. It does.
So with that being said, when was your last year at TCU? 95, 94?
I finished competing in 95 and I graduated in 96.
Okay, 95, 96. Because you went to the Nationals in 94, 93, and even in 93, you went 56-3 and got third place. Do you remember that day in Eugene?
Yep. And actually I think that was US, well, it would have been like the trials, but it was like US championships, the US championships or whatever that year. Yeah, I remember that. And that was actually my best throw in college, or lifetime best throw was that one.
Wow. Do you remember who got second and first in that meet?
I want to say I can't remember first. I'm thinking it was Connie. I think it was Connie
got first, and
then I think third was Melissa Weiss from Colorado.
Yeah, she was fourth, and then Romana Pagel was second.
Second, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Connie went 62.5, and Ramona went 58.1 and a quarter.
Yep.
So how did you adjust from a little girl, from Oklahoma to Bedford, Texas, and now you're on this big stage?
Yep. I mean, I didn't really kind of think about it, I just kind of did my own thing, just kind of, I didn't really think about them too much, you know what I'm saying? Because I did, I've seen them before, at different meets and stuff like that. So, it wasn't kind of like that, it's them, but, and actually in my freshman year, we actually did a training with them. I think it was Connie, Ramona, and a couple of people, or maybe I'm thinking it was like another one of the Indiana State girls back then. And we did kind of like a training seminar kind of out in California. So I kind of got to meet him and all that then, so that was pretty cool.
Wow. So when you went out that time, did you meet like Art Venegas out at the Chula Vista?
No, actually I didn't meet him. He wasn't there because I don't remember. It was just Connie and her, I think it was her husband coached her maybe. Yeah. I'm thinking that's who it was, but yeah. And then Ramona Pagel and her coach were there. And then the girl from Indiana State, Christy with the W. Yep. Anyway, she was there. I think she had won indoor and outdoor our freshman year, maybe.
Yeah.
So. Yep.
So
But
you talked about how when you went to those meets, you just kind of did your own thing and didn't worry about all those ladies. What was your mental preparation plan? Did you have something you did consistently at every meet? What
Yeah, I
did you
mean, I
have
think it
on
was
your
the
big
music. Yep,
headphones?
I
And
did. I had the headphones. Yep, I had my music going, and just, thought about the music and, trying to get myself, psyched up, ready to go. You know, I would
Wow.
listen to like Eye of the Tiger,
There you go.
We Will Rock You, all them,
Yeah.
On the
good
cassette
music
tape.
back in the day. Uh-huh. Good music back in the day, right?
Yeah, and you were like, please don't let the tape cassette break, and you had to rewind.
Yep, exactly.
And those are still some of the best motivational songs there are. I don't know why
I know
kids
that.
still don't listen to those.
Yep.
It makes you feel like running up the steps and
Yep.
yeah, that's awesome.
So you get inducted. You have a great career at TCU, and we've just kind of covered over some of it. But the biggest highlight is 1993 when you get silver in NCAA outdoor championships.
Yep.
You set an indoor record, I think, and I tried to look it up. I still think you hold both the indoor and outdoor at TCU. Indoor was over 55, outdoor was 56.4.
Yep. And actually, I think outdoor got beat a couple of years ago.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
So there was a girl that went on and beat it a couple of years ago. I forgot her name right now. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Was her first name Brooke?
I can't remember it. Sorry.
Okay. Gotcha.
I did see her. I mean, I've seen her I did meet her and all that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you still involved with TCU? Are you still, do you still keep up with Coach? Do you talk to Coach Kennison and what's going on over there?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I talked to him but he's not there either anymore. He retired, so he's not there anymore either. But yeah, I mean, I talked to him, and I just kind of watch every now and then just to see what's going on. Look him up or whatever.
Wow. Do you still keep up with throwing? So did you just watch the Olympics?
I did. It was pretty awesome, right?
Wow.
Krauser, huh?
Yes.
I bet y'all were pretty pumped having him on your show, right?
Yes.
I've been telling people I work with this whole time. We interviewed Ron Krauser, and they're like, "We don't know who."
Okay, watch the Olympics
that day. We saw Ron Krauser.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you really interviewed him? I'm like, yes, we did.
But yeah, and that's impressive. But on the female side, I don't know if you saw that, but what Gong did from China, throwing over 20 meters, glide shot put, you had to be like, all right, glide shot put still exists.
Yep, it's like, wow, you wouldn't think it did at this time, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Quite impressive. And I think, what's your view of what's going on with throwing just from outside looking in now, what's in the U.S. and stuff? If you're keeping up with it, do you think, the throwing is kind of moving in the right direction?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Obviously, if you get on the big stage, Michelle, she kind of opened the door, especially for women, before her, I don't think there was too many, I mean, yeah, we competed somewhat, but not on the world level,
Yeah. Yeah. Do you look back upon your career and wish you'd have maybe thrown better at this meet or did this a little bit different?
No, I mean, I'm just pretty happy with everything I got, I mean, I don't think you can look back and, wish differently, I mean, I feel like, God has your plan for you and, you just got to trust in that plan,
That's awesome. So you said earlier you got married. Are you still married?
Nope.
And how old's your child now?
Nope, not married. Been divorced since about 2010.
Okay.
I have two boys. One's 24 and the other one is getting ready to be 19.
Oh, wow.
So, yep.
Did they throw?
No, not throwing. We found out we had a heart condition and a genetic heart condition, so they weren't able to compete or throw or do any sports. They can they both chose to do like the fine arts. My oldest one, he was more into theater and acting and all that, and then my youngest one is in band and choir and did all the fine arts.
Those are just as intense things to do, man.
Oh, yeah.
The hours they put in for those.
Oh,
are crazy.
it was crazy. Just as many hours as I did throwing, that's for sure.
Yes, they do.
Now you're a school nurse. What, you don't have to tell us, like, can you tell us what district you're in?
Lake Worth.
Oh, you're in Lake Worth. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome.
So I still live in Hearst. So I'm pretty local.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Do you ever still drive by the LD Bell High School?
Yep. I mean, obviously because it's right there on the freeway.
Yeah.
Everybody sees it when they go by. So.
Yeah. So do you remember Jerry Smith when he was at TCU? I mean, at LD Bell, Coach Smith?
A little bit, yes, I do.
Okay.
I mean, I remember the name.
Retired as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
LD Bell's had some tremendous athletes come through
they
there.
have,
So
they have.
Yep.
So have you picked up a shot put? When was the last time you threw? I know after you were done with your career, did you
Yep.
just randomly go pick it up?
I'm done. Like, no, I'm done.
No more.
Like, I mean, you do it for so long, you just kind of, I mean, it's your whole life for so long, and you get to that point where, you're just, for me, I just got a little burned out, by the end, because I
Really?
mean, life takes over, you want to, enjoy your married life and kids and, all that.
Yeah. Did you keep up with Adam as he was going on in his career and he transferring from Rice and going up north and what he was doing in the Olympics and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I just, would see it, I didn't really, back then we didn't have all the technology we have these days, right? It was a little bit harder to keep up with people, but I mean, when he was on, the Olympic stage or whatever, I was obviously I'm like, hey, I remember that guy, but other than that, other than that, not really.
If there were some young girls that were listening to this podcast and listening to the advice and your experiences, what advice would you give them, of wanting to become a thrower, but also having that balanced life as well?
I think it's hard, I think it's a hard balance, I think you have to prioritize everything you do. What is your biggest priority? I mean, if you want to, be a thrower and get to college and all that, you have to put in the time to do it. I mean, you're gonna have to put other things in the back burner, but later on in life, you'll get to do everything you want. It might just take a little bit longer than everybody else.
Awesome.
What is, if you can think of one lesson kind of that you learned from being an athlete that you carry in your life today as you've gotten older? Is there something?
I think just perseverance, I mean, you have to take the good and the bad, especially with this last few years, with COVID and all that, you just have to persevere. Sometimes, life isn't always the greatest, but you just got to make the best of what you're given.
Wow. Great point.
That's
So
very good.
well, ma'am, thank you so much for being on. We appreciate it so much. It was an honor. You were truly one of the greatest high school throwers to ever come through the state of Texas, and your legacy is something that needs to be remembered. And so that's why I was so adamant on you being on this podcast, is because I heard about you. I graduated from East Texas in 1991, and I heard about this girl in Dallas, Texas that threw thus far and was this, and she was real muscular and all this, and you had to go see her. And I was wanting to go, like, you went to Texas Relays your junior and senior year, didn't you?
Yes.
As well?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I did.
Yeah. And so part of me wanting to go was to be there to watch you throw, and I never got to go or anything like that, but I heard about your legacy from a long time. So what you were doing back then is amazing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
So thank you very much.
Awesome.
We appreciate you.
Yep.
God bless you. We'll see you down the road. And if is there anything we can promote for you, or are you anything on social media or anything you're doing?
No, I'm just kind of a plain Jane old person,
There is nothing wrong with plain Jane.
I had all this great stuff, and then I'm just kind of like, I'm plain now. Sorry.
Are you a nurse at a high school, or like me?
I do middle school. Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
I teach out of middle school, so that's a fun age.
Yeah.
Oh, fun age. Yep. Yeah. I've been doing it about 2 years now. So.
Oh, fun. So when you got your RN degree, were you ever in a hospital or any of that stuff?
I did hospital for just a few months. I didn't really like it much, and then I kind of transitioned. I did a lot of nursing homes. So I did nursing homes a lot. So, yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
And then I did, a lot of different places in between, but.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course. Well,
Yep.
ma'am, thank you so much. We appreciate it. God bless you. Thank you so much for being on. If you ever need anything, let us know.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate you.
We would like to thank Stevanie Wadsworth Ferguson for being on. Just what a great thrower. Just, how far she threw in the 90s is just something that is unprecedented at that time. To still be second all time behind Michelle Carter at 52-11-5 and set that in 1990 to win 2 state championships is a tremendous story. And especially only to do just shot puts.
Yeah. Like she never picked up a discus, never did any of that, and was still successful, went to college, ranks up there in the top. And I think I don't know, you could just kind of tell. She talked about being that competitive and perseverance, that she's just get the job done. Like, here's my job. Like when she said, I just worried about me. I did what I needed to do and took care of business and then moved on.
Yeah.
Just didn't let everything else. Of course, back when she threw, you didn't have all the social media and all the other things. But she just did what she needed to do.
Yeah. And I think something I didn't do a good job of highlighting in there, but she was a 5-time All-American in the shot put at TCU, and she won the Southwest Conference 4 times, which is an amazing feat of itself, and set those indoor and outdoor records. And then they even have the opportunity to go into U.S. championships and compete among the best in the world. Little small town girl from Oklahoma, to be able to go do that and be successful, and to throw that far and switch from rotational from glide to rotational, something that, you could probably tell how good an athlete she was to be able to pick it up that fast and be able to throw that far.
And in reality, like we said, God has a plan. The timing was right when she had to go from Kent State to TCU to kind of lose that year, because she was able to hone in on her skills and getting that rotational down.
Very true. Very true. So we appreciate her being on. We wish her the best, and we will see y'all down the road.
All right, we want to give a shout out again to our sponsors for this season, Texas Track and Field Coaches Association. Go to ttfca.org and check them out. Stuart does a great job of keeping everything updated about throwing world, the track world in Texas. So go check them out. 4throws.com. Use the code TalkingThrows20 to get 20% off when you're looking for any kind of implements that you need. Porta Circle. Man, we love our Porta Circles. We take them and use them all the time. I'm not a big Game of Thrones fan, but apparently winter is coming, even though it's 110 outside right now. But you do need Porta Circles to throw when you're throwing indoors. So go give Marcus a call. Use the code TalkingThrows10. If you live in Austin and you're in the Austin area, go check out Ready Up Athletic Development. Zach does a great job getting kids ready to perform. Follow him on Instagram or Facebook. He's always posting great videos of what his kids are doing. And like we talked about earlier, Bruce Caldwell with his Fiber Sport discus. He's just welcome to a new way to get the distance with those discus. He has done some amazing studies to figure out how those discus need to fly, and they're just amazing. Go to fibersportdiscus.com, or you can even call Bruce at 817-819-1472. And then remember, go check us out at the Throwing Factory. Like I said earlier, we just ended an amazing summer season. We had a lot of kids. We're so proud of all the hard work that they put in. Can't wait to see what they all do next year. We got one going off to college. We're excited to see what she does.
2 going to college.
2 going to college.
Macy Irons.
Oh, Macy. Sorry, Macy. We got Macy and Olivia going off to college. 3 if we count. Michael.
Oh, yeah. And Jit Jang going to A&M as well.
Going to A&M. So follow those guys. They're going to do amazing things. So, again, if you're looking to throw and you're wanting to get started early, right now is the time to jump on board and get started, get lifting some weights and start throwing. We also want to talk to you guys about Lifting DFW, our new human performance lifting. You may start as a 2-star athlete, but with us, you can be to that 4-star. So go check out Lifting DFW. I'm going to add anything to that.
liftingdfw.com.
liftingdfw.com. Add the .com part. So thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week.